What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again with another 90-day fiance video, and this one is all about, respectfully, I'm going to call him G because I'm not too sure how to actually say his name, but G and Kara themselves in particular. Now, in the most recent episode, we experienced G meeting Kara's family for the very first time, and to be honest with you, I found the whole scene quite unsettling. But before we get into it, let's start off by giving a big massive shout out to every single person that is a member of the channel. Now, with that being said, in the most recent episode of season 9, episode 5, G was introduced to Kara's family, and this is pretty much how it went down. And yeah, let's get into it.
They're gonna be very honest with you, and they're gonna be asking you probably a lot of things. Like, my uncle will definitely threaten to beat you up. He might mean it, he might not, you know? It's just you gotta kind of see what he's saying and how he's saying it.
So, problem number 1. If she knows that this is how her uncle's going to behave, don't you think that she should at least then have a conversation with her uncle first? Say, hey, my man, the man that I plan to marry within the next 90 days, he has flown all the way from his country to come move here to live with me and to hopefully have, you know, a happily ever after scenario. But I can't, but I can't have you interrogating him on his very first night. Please be respectful to him. Okay, and please make him feel welcome, so therefore he doesn't feel as if he's just made the biggest mistake of his life by leaving everything that he had done in his own country to come here and to basically have nothing but me for the time being. If you do what I'm saying. Now, you'd think that she would have some sort of conversation like that with her uncle to tell him, please do not do anything stupid. But instead of doing that, she would rather tell G instead, hey, just so you know, my uncle might threaten you. That's not how it should go. She should know better. I mean, she keeps talking about how she's a cougar when she's barely even that much older than him. You know what I mean? But because she's a cougar, right, that means she should have maturity behind her. But clearly she doesn't, because if she did, then she would have known to have a conversation with her uncle first to make sure her uncle didn't make him feel as if XYZ. But let's proceed anyway.
My Uncle Mike is kind of this father figure. He's super protective. He's very important to me. My parents separated when I was pretty young, and my dad passed away in 2019. So he's a really important figure in my life.
So here's the thing. She talks about obviously her relationship with her uncle and obviously why he's obviously stepped up, which is fantastic. But here's the thing though. Her uncle may be a very important figure in her life, but she's about to marry a man who should then end up becoming, or at least should be right now, the most important figure in her life. And what she can't have is someone else in her family making this man or making G feel very uncomfortable. So while she's talking about important figures, I guess she hasn't got her priorities straight, because the matter of fact is this though. You've gone abroad, you fell in love, the man you fell in love with is now willing to pack up all of his stuff and come and live with you. So at least try and make the experience so homely. But this is the problem with this season itself in particular. Bilal, very first time meeting his woman, did nothing to make her feel homely. Emily, very first time meeting Kobe, instead of allowing him to see his son for the very first time, she'd rather just go and get her legs open instead. Which I guess in some ways you could say is homely, but the objective was for him to go see his son that he had never met before. But hey, it seems to me that this season's all about not making people feel very homely. But then we've got the other guy who's got the girl from Brazil. He wants her to come live with him and his brother. Honestly, the way some of these people have their priorities, it's very, very worrying. But anyway, let's proceed to when he actually gets to meet her uncle.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Come on up. You hungry?
Yeah.
I met Guillermo when I went to visit Kara in the Dominican Republic, and he's a nice guy. But Kara has never been serious really about anyone. Hopefully he's the one.
So here's the issue here. We've got the... Wait, I don't know if this is her mom. I think it's her mom, yes. But here's the thing though. So mom's already met him, and he's a nice guy. Fantastic. But her daughter's never been serious with anyone before. So it tells me that her maturity levels in terms of being serious is something that she obviously lacks. Which is probably explains why she's behaving the way she's behaving. But it's not an excuse. But the matter of fact is though, if the mom already knows that he's a nice guy, why doesn't someone have a conversation with the uncle to say, hey, this guy's a really nice guy, and we know Kara's never really had a serious relationship, but this guy's flown all the way over from the Dominican Republic to be here with our daughter. So to be honest with you, it seems to me as if maybe she's ready to be serious. But whether or not we believe that, it's very important that we make this young man feel as welcome as possible because he does seem nice, so therefore he could be the one. But no, we're not having that conversation. Because for some bizarre reason, when it comes to TLC TV shows and 90 Day Fiancé, it's always the American people, predominantly the ones that always give this, they always portray this persona of like, you're coming to America, so you know, you better bow down to me or whatever nonsense it is. But it's always like on the American side. It's never like on just the civil side. You know what I mean? Like, end of the day, listen, don't get me wrong. A lot of people fly over to the States, fly over to the UK, fly over to Canada, fly over to Australia and so many other countries because they want a better life, okay? Not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get a better life. And a lot of them fly over there because they think that flying is going to give them, their dreams are going to come true. They're going to get the money, you know? And a lot of them do use people by marriage and X, Y, Z. I know it's a thing. But the matter of fact is, if you're going to go abroad, fall in love with someone, and then be willing to bring them to your country, then you can't even have it in the back of your head that they may be using you, because if you do, then why the hell are you bringing them anyway? But the matter of fact is, though, with that conversation aside, on a civil level, on a general level, this family should be taking into consideration the fact that their daughter has now finally met someone that she may be serious with, and he is flew from another country. So therefore, it is highly needed. That's the one. So therefore, it's highly needed for them to make him feel as comfortable as possible, and until at least he decides to do a hiccup. The moment he starts to do certain things, then pull him up and say, hey, listen, if I'm seeing you doing these things, yeah, we may have a problem. But if he's done nothing wrong and mum's saying he's a lovely guy, why threaten him straight away? But hey, the communication levels within the family clearly isn't that great then, is it now? Because mum's saying he's a great guy. Then you got Cara saying the uncle's going to threaten you. But yet mum and Cara both know what uncle's like. So shouldn't at least one of them, but more importantly, Cara speak to him? Yeah, but let's proceed.
It's like, definitely.
I'm sure.
The house looks so much bigger than I thought. And you looks bigger than I thought.
Yeah, he could you up if you wanted to. Yeah.
You see what I mean? There was no need for that comment. Like, you know, obviously he says you're a lot bigger than I thought. And then she's like, yeah, he can pick up if he wanted to. Why is she saying that? Why? Is there any need for that? Honestly, if there's a way to make someone feel very nervous and very uncomfortable about traveling from one country to another to be with someone, this is definitely the way. But this is not acceptable. This is embarrassing. This is shambolic. Like, honestly, I just don't understand how half this stuff is getting aired on TV. I'm not saying that this is that deep to not be aired, but a lot of the things that we keep seeing being aired on TLC is just becoming more and more concerning day after day. But hey, let's continue.
I feel like I already know you. I've been stalking you on Instagram.
How does that make you feel?
Nervous?
My Uncle Mike used to be a private investigator.
What?
When people want to get dirt or investigate something, they hire a private investigator.
You asked him to?
No.
Okay.
I mean, but he could on his own prerogative. I mean, if he wanted to.
It was all good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're safe.
You passed the test. You're safe for now.
You know what? I think that scene explains it for itself. And if it doesn't, then I'm worried about you, to be honest with you. But anyway, let's continue. There's a little bit more to go.
Do you guys have some concerns? Like
About?
me and Guillermo, our new life starting here? Are you worried about anything?
Are you?
I mean, I just take every day as it comes.
Kara's like a daughter to me. My concern is for her well-being, and y'all being able to coexist. I want you both to think about how you're going to take care of each other, because, I mean, you don't have a job, you know. Are you worried about that at all?
I mean, a little bit. At the same time, I don't know. I feel like everything's just gonna be okay. I would like to have a house like this, and like whenever I can, like in the future. And it's a dream. It's beautiful.
Doesn't have to be a dream here. Just work hard. You get it.
I do believe that Guillermo and Kara are a little naive. Do I think Kara will be able to make money? Yes. Do I think Guillermo will? That's yet to be seen. It could be a big problem.
So, Guillermo, is Kara the first American girl you dated?
I never dated, but I definitely had something with an American girl.
You had something. What did you have?
Well, I just kiss her, and that's it.
Is it? You just kissed another American girl.
Yes.
What made Kara different from this other girl?
One night I got sick, and she like was like moving everything just to make me feel comfortable and like to bring pills and those kind of things, like and like to take care like
A
I
warm
usually like
washcloth
let me,
and
like
holding him. He's like, well,
that is something that
You never had.
your wife could do. No, she wasn't my wife, and she did it. Yeah, I love her very much.
Right now, I'm very impressed with him, but my main concern is how he treats her. I don't want that to be a thing where he's being kind and sweet to her for 90 days, and then after that, he's like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for. I'm usually a pretty good judge of character, so if that's his intentions, I'll know. Well, it was really nice to meet you, Guillermo, but I'm gonna keep my eyes on you.
Oh, okay.
Hoo-wee. Hoo-wee. I mean, listen, I don't know about anyone of you's watching right now, but as far as I'm concerned, that has got to be one of the worst introductions I've ever seen for anyone, to be introduced to someone's family, you would like to think, or at least I would like to have thought that the introduction would have been a whole lot more homely, shall I say? Or a whole lot more, homely. I'm gonna go with homely, yeah. I mean, obviously, it may have ended kind of okay, but it really didn't, because either way, he was told that I'm gonna keep my eyes on you. And to be fair, I don't know why this conversation about work is always kind of brought up in the first place, because everybody knows that he's not going to be able to work for at least 90 days anyway. Minimum 90 days is not going to work anyway. So I don't even know why that's even a conversation. I mean, listen, if you want to have a general conversation about, hey, so, what are your plans for work when you can work? Obviously, do you have any ideas of the industry you want to go into? All that kind of stuff. Fair enough, have that conversation. But saying that, hey, but you're not going to be able to work, blah, 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 and kind of putting pressure on the person as if like as if they have the power to be able to get a job instantly without a freaking work visa. It's like, come on. Honestly, some of these questions are just jarring and just unnecessary. But as far as I'm concerned, this scene itself in particular was not a great scene in any kind of way. It was a scene that was built to basically make this kid look like and feel like absolute garbage. And you know what? I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And I think a lot of times, a lot of people need to do better when somebody's been introduced to your family. Because at the end of the day, when someone who's genuinely nice has been introduced to your family gets treated as if they may be doing something dodgy, it's not very nice, it's very unsettling. And to be fair with you, to make it worse, the fact that he can't just get up and walk away is just sad. Because at the end of the day, if I was in that situation and I was able to get up and walk away, best believe I'm getting up and I'm walking away. But this at the same time, though, is a note to a lot of people. If you're going to travel the world to be with someone, please make sure you travel with money. Because if things don't go well, at least you have enough money to either get a property or rent a property or get some sort of accommodation for a time being until you figure out your next move, or at least have enough money to be able to get that plane ride all the way back home to where obviously life was obviously a whole lot more peaceful, I'd like to imagine. Because at the end of the day, there is also the fault on the other person for not, if they've come there with no finances, well then, to be honest with you, you're a complete idiot. You know what I mean? That's just the grand scheme of it, So it is very important that I also say on the other side of on the other side of the coin. So yeah. But nonetheless, though, let me know what you're thinking and we'll talk about it. Like, subscribe, and peace.